So I was sitting talking to my daughter Stephanie about tonight's theme, and I was thinking I didn't have anything to say. I told her that, I didn't have any big romances before I married my wife, and then I said that I had never told anybody I loved them in my life until I married my wife, and now I tell my wife and our 4 kids that I love them all the time. But then I thought, there was another time when, and as you can see, I'm very nervous up here, but 38 years ago, I got a call from I was 20, I got a call from my second oldest brother, Jim, lived in the River West neighborhood, and he told me I needed to come over, that something had happened. And I got up right away, walked over. I lived about 5 blocks away, and I just knew it was something horrible about my oldest brother, George, who was 27. George had been a hippie in San Francisco, and I didn't know him most of my teenage years. He was 7 years older than me. He was always at odds with my dad, so he wasn't welcome in the house. His hair was too long. When his hair was this long, it was too long to be allowed to visit the house. And so George had been out in San Francisco, moved around the country, and but then, year 1974 or so, he moved back to Milwaukee. So I was finally getting my chance to get to know my brother George and spend significant time with him. And so he became my best friend in the world. I was very quiet at the time. Even now, I'm probably the quietest lawyer or lobbyist you've ever met. So George was my best friend. I head over to Jim's house. As I come around the corner, I see a police car in front. And I walk in, and I hear these 2 deep, rumbling voices of Milwaukee police officers talking about George in the past tense. And his body had been found, apparently dumped over here in, I guess, that direction. Is it Riverside Park, Riverview Park? He had died elsewhere of overdose of morphine, and apparently whoever he was with dumped his body there in the park. So I went into a deep funk. This was my best friend in the world. I was basically a loner myself, and but then one night I had a dream, and I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that, but in the dream, I was talking to George. We were talking about how he was dead. And I told him I missed him so much, and I loved him so much. And we were acknowledging that this was a dream. I was going to wake up, this is all going to be over, and he'd still be dead. And we were fine with that. We had gotten our chance to say goodbye. And so after that, I was able to go on with life. But Lizzie, that is the first time I told somebody I love them. And it hurt.